he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Listen to them talking about how you can't just start with these awful words and these awful thoughts and then not expect action. And then you hear that little end clip of, yeah, they just confirmed that he was shot in the neck in critical condition, and this is how you're talking about this individual. And the awful thoughts in the room with us. He shares the thoughts of 50% of this country. And now we are in such a time of divisiveness and viciousness that we believe that people who support Charlie Kirk, people who support his thoughts and beliefs and his values deserve to die. Are we okay? And we can't even get clarity from the news media as to what has exactly taken place. This is another clip from MSNBC where they say that, he could have possibly been shot by somebody who was shooting in celebration at the university.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea. But
that's your reputable news source, MSNBC. When they're not trying to come up with some excuse as to why somebody like Charlie Kirk would be shot in the neck and now in critical condition, they will justify it by saying you can't say awful words and have these awful thoughts without expecting action. And then on the other end of this, okay, they're going to push it to the Trump administration and talk about Charlie Kirk being shot and say, you know what, the Trump administration is going to use this as some sort of justification for an action moving forward.
After one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as a justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
I must admit, I'm at a loss to guess as to what happens next.
Yeah, as you should be. Because we should be at a loss to guess what happens next after somebody is literally shot in the neck. A public figure whose whole platform is just having conversations and going toe-to-toe with college students is getting shot in the neck. Yeah, we should not know what's happening next after that. You know what? If Donald Trump sees a bunch of carjackings happening in a city and goes, you know what? Thank you for that.